Back and you're watching Newsroom on ET Now, and we do have Maruti's numbers that are pouring in. You can see them on your screens as well. Okay, looking at the numbers, revenue coming in at 23,246 crores is what I can see. Slightly better than what we were expecting of around 22,966 crores. Profits for the company coming in at 1,011 crores. We were expecting the profits at 896 crores. So surely a beat coming in on the profitability of the company as well. EBITDA margins, we're seeing 6.7% is what the margin has come in at. We were expecting 5.8%, so beat on the margin front as well. What I can see, more than 100 basis point better than what we were expecting. 5.8 was what we were expecting. It's coming at 6.7%. Surely good performance on the margin front as well. Other than that, EBITDA coming in at 1,559 crores. Again, a beat. So overall, revenue slightly better. Profits also a beat as well as the margins. So seems like a decent set of numbers coming in from the company. We will be waiting out for more details as well. I'm just opening up the press release to the earnings. Okay, we have with us Mr. Shah, who's joining in with us for the numbers as well. Mithil, thank you so much for joining in with us as well today. What are you making of the numbers, Maruti numbers? How are you seeing them coming in? Are there a beat on your expectations as well?
Yeah, numbers are better than our expectations. Margins are slightly better, roughly around 50 basis higher than what we estimated. So operating margin coming in above 6% seems to be a key positive in this situation where as we know, semiconductor issue has impacted the volume performance as well as margin pressure coming from the raw material side. In this environment, company is able to improve the margin as compared to street expectation being roughly around 5.5%, we being at around 6%. So nearly 70 to 100 basis positive impact coming on the margin side will be considered as a positive, beating our estimates on the net profit as well as operating level.
Right, Mithil. And, I just want to understand one thing also. Obviously, despite the semiconductor issue, like you mentioned, that the margins have done well. So, is this a sign that the worst is behind for Maruti and, maybe we could see margins improving going forward as well?
See, raw material price, particularly steel prices, has corrected from the peak level and now it's stabilizing. Though again, there is a words coming from the steel maker that they are going to take a price hike. But on the other hand, companies have also taken price hike at regular interval. Now also recently in January, company has taken price hike. So going forward, companies' new launches and increasing CNG variants where the Maruti has an edge over other players will certainly help company to command certain pricing power, and it should bring back the margin territory close to those 9-10% kind of a average which it used to report pre-COVID level.
Right, Mithil. And, I just want to talk about one thing also, that we're seeing coming in the press release. The saying is, we still have almost, the company has 2.4 lakh crore pending customer orders at the end of December as well. So, that surely shows some sign that, there is a demand that is still left. So, how do you see that panning out in terms of demand for the company as well?
Yeah, this close to 2.5 lakhs order book is an all-time high in the history of company. So there are two things happening. As we know, the demand is strongly increasing, supported by pent-up demand of past 1.5 year, as well as new launches by all these companies. But on the other hand, semiconductor issue has a more impact, which has resulted into higher order books compared to historical average being roughly 1 lakh to 1.5 lakh units. So this demand will remain strong, particularly for the SUV segment. But on the other hand, we believe that semiconductor issue, though it will not get resolved completely in 2022 calendar year, but it is in a much better position in terms of the supply from the various countries. And as this lockdown is easing out in the globally, so with the better supply, we believe that there should be a double-digit sequential improvement in the company's production during this Jan-Feb-March quarter. So order book will come down going into FY23.
Right. Obviously you're talking about production as well, and there's one more thing that the company has mentioned, that the company is hoping to actually increase production, like you were talking about at the Q4 as well. Though it would, they're saying that though it would not reach full capacity, but they are planning to increase production. But how are you seeing that pan out for the company, given that this current supply situation also that they are facing? So what could we expect from Maruti in Q4 then?
Last quarter, there were issues during October and November. December was much better in terms of the supply of the semiconductor as well as the production level of company. Company has highlighted at the beginning of month also that January is more or less similar to December or slightly better. So if we assume this trend to continue in Jan, Feb, March, then definitely this quarterly volume would be close to 5 lakh units, which is much higher than what company reported in 3Q. So sequentially, Q on Q, there would be a double-digit growth in volumes as well as top line of the company.
Mitul, we are seeing good exports also coming in from Maruti this time. The highest ever exports is what they have spoken about at 64,995 units versus 28,528 units last year. Obviously, is this the low base effect also that's playing in? And highest ever export does sound like a good number coming in for the company.
Yeah, last year base definitely was one of the lowest in historical records of the company. So YOY comparison is not the right method, but in general, company used to do roughly 10 to 15,000 kind of a monthly export volume. As compared to there, now it's coming close to 20,000 every month since past few months, which is certainly a very strong performance and much higher than anybody's expectation. So in overall pie, export is still much lower, like less than 10% kind of a number. But going forward, the way the trend is there and companies' new models are picking up, and of course the Toyota tie-up is also helping in terms of makeover, brand makeover and all those parameters. So volume for export should remain in this territory of 20,000 kind of a monthly average, so which translates to roughly 12 to 13% volume coming from the export compared to historical contribution of roughly 6 to 7% only.
Sure, Mitul, exports is something that could we should be keeping an eye out on as well for Maruti, especially given the Toyota tie-up that they are having. Thank you so much, Mitul, for joining in with us on ET Now and giving us an understanding about Maruti Suzuki as Q3 numbers. Thank you so much. Okay, and continuing and keeping it with Maruti, surely a good set of numbers coming in, revenue in line, while on the other fronts, that's the profitability as well as the margin front, the earnings were above expectations. So let's go across to my colleague Shrishti, who is going to be giving us more understanding on how the numbers have been. What is the
positive surprise coming in from the margins? We were expecting that to be at 5.8%. The company clocked in a margin of 6.7%, which is really good. Definitely, yes, a decline from what was clocked in at, in the last same quarter last year at 9.5%. There is a decline, but from 4.1% in the last quarter 2 of FY22, there is a sharp jump of around 170 basis points, which is really good. But going forward, the company do say that they are increasing production in Q4. They are hopeful of that, but it will not reach the full capacity because of the semiconductor shortage issue that has been impacting. So this is something that is not that great comment by the company. But on the other hand, on the demand side, they do say that there is no lack in demand, as the company has more than 2.4 lakhs of pending customers order at the end of this quarter. But on the semiconductor shortage issue, that is still a situation which is still unpredictable, but the situation is improving gradually. So this is another positive comment, and the stock is surely reacting to this one. The con call is at 4 p.m. so we will be watching out for what is the company's commentary on the demand going ahead. What are the new product launches by the company, and how are they looking the export demand in the times ahead? Along with that, how are the CNG sales are also holding up? So more to be watched out for Maruti Suzuki, but surely a great set of numbers as of now.
Absolutely, Shrishti. Great set of numbers, and like you mentioned, a positive move coming in the stock as well, up almost 3% in trade as well. But with that, we are absolutely out of time on this edition of the Newsroom on ET Now. Thank you so much from me, Vinny Motiwala, as well as the team who put this show together.